Hi, my name's Ruth. I'm going to talk to you about domestic abuse. But before I start, just have a think about whether now is a good time to watch this. It's not suitable for small children. Perhaps it's not safe for you to look at it now. Perhaps you should wait until you're by yourself. Perhaps you should look at this on somebody else's computer. Are you afraid of someone in your family? Your husband, wife, in-laws, or adult children? Do you change what you do because of them? Do they constantly call or text you and ask where you are or who you're with? Is he sometimes really nice and you hope that he'll stay that way? Domestic abuse is when an adult family member, partner or ex-partner is violent, threatening, or controlling. Domestic abuse can be physical, but not always. Domestic abuse is against the law. People who are being abused often keep it secret. They may not know what is happening is wrong, or they may think it's their fault. They may think nobody can help them. Everything may seem fine from the outside, but it isn't. Here are some examples of domestic abuse. When Joe came home from work, Sarah had cooked him pizza for tea. He said he didn't want it and threw it away, so she made him sausages and chips instead. He said she burnt it, he threw it away, and then he punched her on the arm. He has done this before, but usually he's careful. He hits her where the marks will be covered by her clothes. This is physical abuse. This is Carla and David. David hasn't got a job. Carla has just started working. David said it would be much easier if she had her wages paid into their joint account. Then he changed the passwords on the account. Then he took the bank cards off her just to be safe. Now he gives her £10 a week for her bus fare and lunches. When she says she needs more money, he says no. She has no control over the money she earns. Because he knows all her details, he's been able to buy an expensive phone in her name. This is financial abuse. Sarah's husband keeps telling her she's stupid and ugly. Then he says, it's just a joke. He tells her she's lucky to have him. No one else will want her. Sometimes he's nice to her. In the end, she believes him. She thinks perhaps she's going mad. This is psychological abuse. This is the true story of Amelia. The abuse built up slowly over weeks, months, and years. I made excuses for him when he didn't want to do the things that I suggested, didn't want to see my friends, or wouldn't listen to what I had to say. I forgave him when he called me names, put me down, and caused arguments. He would blow up so quickly. One minute everything was fine, the next he was angry, questioning me about everything. Why was I late home from work? Why was I wearing that dress? Why did I want to meet a friend? Why? Why? He criticised me constantly about everything, for wearing high heels, for the way I did the shopping, for talking to my friends, for not calling him enough, for calling him too much. The list goes on and on and on. He didn't hurt me physically, but that wasn't a good thing. He didn't need to hurt or beat me. He had control over me by shouting, intimidating, pushing his finger in my face, threatening me. He would smash household objects close to me or raise his fist and then drop it, laughing as I flinched or cowered. He controlled my mind, my behaviour. My personality changed. I wasn't me at all. Now I know that this was coercive control, part of most domestic abuse. Sexual abuse is making you have sex when you don't want to, refusing to use contraception, making you have sex in a way you don't want, having sex when you're asleep, calling you bad names. Even if you're married, all of these are abusive. Some of these are rape. Abusers can use technology too. They might send hundreds of texts a day. They can track where someone is using a phone without the other person knowing. They can use Facebook or other social media to frighten and control. They can take sexy pictures of someone and then say that they will share them. This is digital abuse. Most domestic abuse is by men against women, but not always. Yusuf's parents were very proud when he went to university to become a dentist. But when he came home in holiday, they looked at his phone and found out that he'd fallen in love with another male student. They locked him in his room. They said he was disgusting and evil and would bring shame to his family. They said they would not let him go back to university until he marries. They're looking for a girl from back home for him to marry. This is domestic abuse. But what about the children? Some people think that domestic abuse doesn't harm children because they're too young to understand. Dad only hits mum, he doesn't hit the children. It only happens when they're asleep. They need a dad anyway, even if he hurts their mum. Sadly, none of this is true. Children are always harmed when there is domestic abuse in their family. In the UK, domestic abuse of any sort is against the law. Someone doing it can be banned from seeing their family, or not allowed to go to their house, or sent to prison. There are lots of myths and excuses about domestic abuse. Some people think alcohol, drugs, or stress are the cause. No. Most men who have these problems don't abuse. It can't be that bad really, or she would leave. No. It's very hard to leave for many reasons. I can't help it, my dad was the same. No. Boys who grow up in violent homes can choose not to be violent when they are men. Women like it really. No, they really don't. It only happens in some kinds of families? No. It happens in families from all classes, races, and cultures. What goes on in a family is private. No. Domestic abuse is a crime that causes serious harm, so it's a problem for the whole society. Domestic abuse is very rare. No. 1 woman in 4 lives with domestic abuse at some time in her life, and 2 women are killed by their partners or ex-partners every week. But our religion says men should be in charge. Men often say that their religion allows them to control and abuse women, but no religion allows violence and abuse. For information about Islam and domestic abuse, go to the Muslim Women's Network. They also have a helpline where you can speak to someone in your own language. For information about Christianity and domestic abuse, go to Restored UK, and they have a helpline too. If this is happening to you or someone you know, there is help. The police can help. Schools, doctors, health visitors can all help if you tell them. There are special advisors who can help you. If you and your children are not safe at home, there are refuges, which are safe places to live for a short time. If you or someone you know needs help, if you're in danger now, call the police, 999. If it isn't safe to speak, you can tap 55 and they will know that you need help. If you want advice and practical help, call Lancashire Victim Services 0300 323 0085. You can call the Muslim Women's Helpline 0800 999 5786 or the National Domestic Violence Helpline 0800 2000 247. If you don't want to speak, but you would rather chat online to somebody, then you can go to the SafeNet website and you can live chat to somebody 7 days a week, 10 till 12, 2 till 4, 8 till 10. If you need help, there's help out there. Remember, it's not your fault and you can get some help.